So 4 players could be coming in. One could be leaving. Paqueta has been linked to Man City for £70 million there or thereabouts. Rumours not too long ago that he doesn't get on with David Moyes, doesn't like the style of football that David Moyes plays at West Ham. They've been poo-pooed, but sometimes there's no smoke without fire. But either way, they bought him for about, I think, £50 or £53 million. But either way, they'll be selling, if they did, even though I think West Ham have denied the fact they would even entertain that. But when a big club like City come in for it and you're someone like Paqueta, usually there's only one way that ends. How will West Ham fans feel about him possibly leaving? And the price tag, is it good to make, this sounds nuts, just £17 million in one season? Or does that come into it? Or
I don't know. It's a bonkers one. And I'm sure a lot of West Ham fans would understand that going to Manchester City, he's going to the best team on the planet. So you can understand why any player would jump at that chance. Look, Declan Rice wants to go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's only 25 years old. It took him a while to get going at West Ham, Paqueta. But I think what would disappoint West Ham fans probably the most is that he started to get going towards the end of the season. I remember he was very good in the final. I thought he played well in the final. And the run up to the end of the season, I thought, he's decent in. So he's now got to the level that West Ham fans expect of him, and he could be going. So it is disappointing, and if West Ham lose him, which I expect they probably will do if Manchester City's interest is genuine, it is a bit of blow for them. I mean, it's not the same level, it's not the same type of situation, but a little bit like Dimitri Payet. Dimitri Payet for West Ham was unbelievable, wasn't he?
But then all of a sudden a phone call comes in, he downs tools. And it was like, oh no, what's going on here? So... But I think for Paqueta, I can understand it. And again, this is no disrespect to West Ham fans, but if you've got the opportunity to go to the best club in the world, who've just won pretty much everything, then you're going to jump at the chance. Not the Community Shield though, Benny.
No, exactly.
Didn't win that.
Didn't win that big.
Okay, if West Ham, last question, then we'll open the phone lines up. Last question. If West Ham get these 4, Maguire, Alvarez, McTominay and Ward-Prowse, and Paqueta leaves, obviously a big season, and they've got Europa League football, so you need a big squad to handle that anyway. Where should they be aiming in the league?
I think for West Ham, it should always be top 10 minimum. And that might say top 10, but I think to finish inside the top 10 this particular season is going to be difficult because you look at a lot of the clubs that are in that top 10 that are pushing for European spots, that top half of the table. I think for West Ham Football Club, after the season they've just had in the Premier League, I think with this squad, if they sign these players, I think minimum they should be in top 10 comfortably. Are you
not that it matters, but I'm curious, are you a season ticket holder at West Ham?
No, I'm not, no.
Okay. If you were, would you be very excited about going every single week this season to see those players in the starting lineup or not?
If we lose Paqueta, no, because I think that's why we're spending so much. This has come out, and then now we're like, oh God, we now got to make Paqueta stay. Who can thrive off Paqueta? James Ward-Prowse, dead speed specialist. But then we also look at Harry Maguire. Look what we've done for Jesse Lingard. We bought him back. He had a torrid time at Man United. Bring him to West Ham, and he got back in the England squad. He looked phenomenal. It's what we're doing at the moment. We're getting the best out of the players in bad times.
Do you know what? I do think that getting these 3 players would make you a lot more solid. And I like Lucas Paqueta. I think he was certainly the back end of last season. I thought, okay, that's why West Ham spent all the money. Maybe it took a little while to get going, but that's understandable. But I do think with these 3 signings, if you get them over the line, Ward-Prowse, McTominay and Harry Maguire, I think top 10 should be minimum for West Ham when it comes to where they should finish next season.
I would completely agree if we didn't have 2 such injury-prone strikers. I would completely agree. I'd say 100% top 10. Why are we aiming any less? But if we're now selling Scamacca, who a couple of weeks ago was saying, I'm now back from knee surgery, I'll be scoring 20-plus goals a season, and then we flog him, well, who are we going to buy now? Like, we should have done, if we were going to sell him much earlier. Get rid of him.
Do you know what though, Dan? I think that's the problem. Is that I think so many teams are scratching around for a centre forward because there just aren't that many.
Like, which is nuts, isn't it?
It's nuts. Of course, you go top end where you've got the Kanes of them, but you're not going to get that. But where can you start sniffing around for someone else?
What's middle end? How many goals is middle end? Top end's 20, 25 plus, right?
Yeah, 20, 25. 20's top end.
Okay, what are you looking at then at West Ham? 10?
Anything around 15. I know it's going to sound bonkers. Anywhere between 13 and 17.
Okay, still a lot of Premier League goals, right?
But that's minimum requirement. If you're a centre forward that plays every single week.
Yeah, you should be banging them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. How much is that going to cost you?
Well, it depends. Listen, I don't want to sell Arsenal players, right? But Arsenal have got 2 players there, Nketiah and Balogun.
Yeah.
Like, one of them is going to probably have to go because you can't have Gabriel Jesus and them 2, and then Kai Havertz can also play up there.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something there.
I agree.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 AM on DAB via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.